Welcome in to Rams and Cowboys preview. We're going to take a look at this the matchup, and we're going to see who's going to win the football game. That's going to happen. It's going to be Cowboys and Rams, the two teams that Jerry owned. I moved them to L.A., and I got the Cowboys in Dallas. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Studio Day Heffrey. It's nice to see you. So weekly, what I like to do when I'm previewing a game is, well, go all over the place. But the staples of it will kind of be who has the advantage when the Cowboys run the ball, when the Cowboys pass the ball, and who has the advantage when their opponent runs the ball and passes the ball. That's kind of my starting point. And then we'll talk about individual matchups along the way that I think are very important to the outcome of the game. And I would also like to say I'm surprised by the number of you that think I was reaching on the Dak video. And I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Maybe part of it is the fact that I work with the great Brian Broaddus, who says that Jerry was asking people during the course of last year, is Dak our guy, in their personnel meetings. I just find it curious that so many of you seem sold on the idea that the Cowboys are in love with Dak when he's the only quarterback in the league playing on a franchise tag. And they've had multiple years to get this done, and every quarterback in the league is signing 4-year deals, whether they got 2 years left, 1 year left, whether they're a free agent. They're all getting 4-year deals done, but the Cowboys wouldn't give Dak a 4-year deal. It's very curious. And I'm not even saying I'm right in that it wasn't a reach. You know, the only thing I don't appreciate is the people who think that was some sort of clickbait or hot take thing, because I don't do that. I don't do that, okay? So don't you throw that at me. That's not me. I believe in actual analysis and actual information and education on the Cowboys and on football. Okay? So take it back. All right? Well, or I'll kick your ass. That was a bad one. All right. Let's get down to it, though, as we got to take a little peek at these football teams and how they match up. Oh, and so Zack Martin, we need to talk about Zack Martin real quick. So the Cowboys did restructure Zack Martin to save, what was that, about a $6 million savings, and they moved his money back. That is about Dak Prescott. No matter how you think the Cowboys feel about Dak, that's about Dak Prescott, because they've already got money. Like, if they wanted to sign Earl Thomas, he's going to cost peanuts. They got money. They now have $17 million in change against the cap this year. What they're doing right now, they're going to roll all that over into next year because there's a little bit of uncertainty about what the cap's going to look like, and they know they're going to need that money to either tag or extend Dak Prescott. And I hope it's an extend because Dak's a baller. You guys know I'm a Dak guy. But they could easily tag and trade him. And that's not a hot take. It's an observation. They could tag and trade him if they wanted to play cheapo ball at quarterback, which I don't understand. I'm on your team, Dak lovers or Dak supporters. We're Dak supporters. I'm on your team. All right, so that covers Martin. All right, let's do Cowboys versus Rams. So the first thing that we'll talk about is the Rams defense. There's something that's really fun in football. My favorite thing about football is probably learning, you know? I think a lot of us grow up. I played it in high school and college, and you know the game, but then when you really start digging into how to evaluate players and how to build a roster and what do you think is most important for a team, there's so much you can learn. And if you don't believe that, then you don't know much about football, is my opinion. The people who I think are the best at studying and educating on football are also always learning. So I'm going to relate this to the Jalen Ramsey contract, which Jalen Ramsey is a monster. He should be a Cowboy. So the Cowboys should have picked. So Jalen Ramsey just set the cornerback market with how much money he made. And I love Jalen Ramsey. I think he's one of the 3 best corners in football. And so it's most likely money well spent by the Rams. But Jalen Ramsey can't make a team have a good pass defense, which, again, this is strange. This is the interesting part of the more you learn, the more you want to know more. The best defense of the Pro Football Focus era is the Darrelle Revis Jets when he was out there locking down literally every number 1 receiver in the league. but his supporting cast must have been good enough because a lot of the best corners who make a ton of money and who play great, their teams or their defenses suck. A corner can't make a defense. It can't make a secondary because much like offensive line, your secondary is only good, potentially only as good as the weakest link because I don't have to throw at you. I have 4 or 5. I have 4 other options on any given play. I don't have to throw at you. Similarly, on the offensive line, you can have 2 guys that nobody can get by. And, okay, but if your center and your left guard suck, congrats on blocking, guys. Your play still got destroyed. So offensive line and the secondary are the 2 spots where potentially you're as bad as your weakest link. I say potentially because you do have the ability to have your coaching staff find ways to scheme up help for the guys who aren't as good. So let's take that to when we're looking at Cowboys versus Rams. I know there's a really long roundabout way to get to a preview, but I ramble. I kind of do that sometimes. And I spark it up. All right. Let's start with when the Cowboys throw the ball, because it's a passing league. When the Cowboys throw the ball, who I think is the Rams starting secondary, because teams don't like to show you, and I haven't watched Hard Knocks. Jalen Ramsey is awesome, and Jalen Ramsey will travel. So traveling means that if you have one wide receiver that's awesome and your other guys aren't as big a threat, no matter where they line up, Jalen Ramsey will go cover. So how are the Rams even going to handle that this week is interesting because off the top of your head, you would say he'll follow Amari Cooper. That's who Jalen Ramsey will travel with. But Amari Cooper's hamstring's been bothering him, and he hadn't practiced over the course of the last week. So if you're the Rams, are you anticipating him to be the biggest threat? Or do you think that he may be hobbled in some way? Amari Cooper doesn't have a great track record of playing great if he's not able to prepare the week of the game. So I will say that Jalen Ramsey will travel with Amari Cooper because he's viewed as your number 1 receiver. So that's a fun matchup. Jalen Ramsey's great. Jalen Ramsey will also bite on a double move. Amari Cooper's a great route runner. So what you have there is the makings of a really fun matchup. The other guys they're going to be covering for the Rams, I believe, is their other outside guy will be Troy Hill, who's not a bad player, and their slot corner will be former Michigan Wolverine David Long Jr. The matchup that I really like is CeeDee Lamb against David Long. That's my jam right there. The 2 guys that I think could really hurt the Rams for the Cowboys are CeeDee Lamb against David Long and Blake Jarwin. Because the Rams' biggest weakness on defense, their linebackers are atrocious. They have nothing at linebacker. So I look for Jarwin to be able to hurt them. I look for CeeDee to be able to hurt them. Their weakness is the middle of the field. Their free safety's terrible too. Taylor Rapp, I think, is a solid young player that's going to turn into a really good player. That's their strong safety. But John Johnson's a bad safety. David Long's an okay corner, but CeeDee Lamb's a monster, and their linebackers are trash. So I think you could make a lot of hay against the Rams. And by the way, it's advantage Cowboys when the Cowboys throw the ball. That's the way I like to do this. It's advantage Cowboys when the Cowboys throw the ball. The one thing that could really derail that is if your offensive line isn't able to hold up against a pass rush, because Aaron Donald is a big-time upfield player. That's why somebody wrote an article saying he's a bad run defender. No, he's just a very aggressive upfield player, and that's what they ask him to be. So, yes, sometimes he'll be out of position on a run play, but that's what they ask him to do. He's the most disruptive, best defensive lineman in football. So how do you handle Aaron Donald as a pass rusher? And Connor Williams has actually handled Aaron Donald well when they've played, but that doesn't mean I'll pick him to do it again. So, yes, you're going to need to scheme up some help. Joe Looney, keep that eye on Aaron Donald. Whichever side he lines up on, keep an eye on him. Right tackle. Can you pass protect from right tackle? Who is your right tackle? I know they signed Cam Irving to be that swing tackle the Cowboys did. I've heard that Cam Irving's practices have been horrible, And so maybe Brandon Knight, maybe the Texas Tech kid, Terrence Steele. We'll see. Who are you going to run out as your right tackle? I would imagine Cam Irving is the veteran with starting experience is going to get the first crack at it. But the good news is I don't think that the Rams have great pass rushers on the outside, so I think you can make this work. And if you got to use Blake Bell a little bit or have Zeke chip in on whoever's lined up at left defensive end for them or left outside linebacker, probably Samson Ibukam, I think you'll be okay there. When the Cowboys pass, it's advantage Cowboys. When the Cowboys run, it's advantage Cowboys. And it's an offensive league. Again, I will not homer these things up. I'll pick the offense to succeed more often than I'll pick the defense to succeed, probably for the Cowboys and for their opponents. But again, when the Cowboys run, Michael Brockers is a good player. Aaron Donald is a really disruptive player. Their edge guys are, they're all right. Leonard Floyd's all right. Their linebackers are trash. And so when you got an okay defensive line and bad linebackers, you can run on that. It's just a matter of how well are you going to play at center, left guard, and right tackle. And maybe I should go advantage push just because it is an unknown until we see Joe Looney, Connor Williams, and probably Cam Irving. Until we see them block, maybe you should just call it a draw, but I think you can run on this team. I think when you got bad linebackers, linebackers become really important in this league, even more so than it has been in the past because you're asked to do so much. You're a primary run defender, and now you've got to be able to cover. You're asked to do a whole lot. I do. When the Cowboys are on offense, I think it's advantage them both running and passing the ball. Now, how about when the Rams? Hold on. Amanda's calling. Hi, Amanda. We're previewing Cowboys-Rams right now.
Oh, okay. I was just looking at those off.
Yeah?
I logged on to my very reputable, non-offshore gambling website.
Oh, you're doing some gambling. We're visiting with at Amanda Guerra CBS right now. Famous sports reporter and host and my boo thing. What else? Can I call you in a few minutes?
Yeah, have fun. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
Somebody send me a jersey. I need a jersey for this season.
Someone send Amanda a jersey, but don't think that it entitles you to anything, you creeps. All right, I'll call you in a few. Huh?
Bye.
Love you, bye. Okay. Answer the phone when the lady calls, no matter what you're doing. You don't want to deal with the wrath if you don't. Where was I? When the Rams have the ball. Rams offensive line, not very good. Andrew Whitworth, their left tackle, good. Havenstein, their right tackle, throughout his career, he's been pretty good. Last year, not good. And their interior guys, not very good. The Austins, Austin Blythe and Austin Corbett at center and right guard, and Noteboom, the left guard, at least in theory, I think that's their offensive line. They got 3 poor offensive linemen, maybe 4. So when the Rams run the ball, I like Cam Akers, their rookie running back. Cam Akers is a good player. So this one comes down to the Rams offensive line. Their weakness matches up with the Cowboys' weakness. I think without Gerald McCoy, you look at the interior of the Cowboys' defensive line, and their depth chart would tell you, and their depth chart means nothing, but their depth chart would tell you that you're lining up Don Terry Poe and Tristan Hill as your defensive tackles. Now, the Rams play 11 personnel, just like the Cowboys will, a ton. That's one running back, 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers. And in that, you're going to play nickel. So a lot of times, you're not even going to have a nose tackle. So a lot of times, Don Terry Poe won't be playing in this game. So in that scenario, how do you run defend if, let's say, it is Tank Lawrence, Everson Griffin, and then Tyrone Crawford and Tristan Hill? You're matching up Tyrone Crawford and Tristan Hill against their interior guys, and how are you going to be against the run with that lineup? Wash. Maybe Alden Smith plays some snaps inside. Tank Lawrence told us he'll be taking some snaps standing up, so, and maybe even over center. I don't think the Rams' offensive line is very good. And last year, what totally derailed their year is not only were they not very good, but they were hurt. At 4 of the 5 positions, they were missing a starter pretty much the entire year. This year, they'll probably be better than that. At least they'll get to start the year with the guys they intend to start with. But their offensive line is not that good. And the Cowboys, when the Rams run the ball, I'm going to go advantage Cowboys. Now, we've seen the Rams run the ball on the Cowboys before, and it wasn't fun. Cowboys get sent home. But for now, Everson Griffin is a really good run defender. Tank Lawrence is an elite run defender. Dontari Poe, when he plays, is a solid run defender. Tyrone Crawford is a decent run defender. Tristan Hill is the unknown there. But if you're getting decent defensive line play, LVE and Jalen Smith can fly around. Cowboys defense has the potential to be decent here. I will say when the Rams run, it's advantage Cowboys. When the Rams pass, it's advantage Rams. Now, we can go through these matchups. Somebody asked me, who did you like the matchup for Trayvon Diggs the most? Let's see who starts for the Cowboys. I don't think Jordan Lewis is going to play. So I think your secondary is Xavier Woods. Cheeto is listed as a backup on the depth chart. Anthony Brown will be one of your 3 corners for sure. And maybe he'll be one of your 2 corners. And then when you bring in a 3rd corner, he'll move to the slot. So Anthony Brown is the one I feel most confident is going to be a starter. After that, Trayvon Diggs. And after that, how banged up is Cheeto? Are you going to see Daryl Worley? Whatever. But I'll tell you the matchups I would like the most. Now, this is kind of in theory because the Cowboys, I don't know that they're going to send all their corners traveling. Like, you've got him. He's yours. He's yours. Because man defense against the Rams is dangerous anyway. They love bunches and crossers. Robert Woods on the deep in routes. Cooper Kupp on little pick plays, getting through the trash, running across the field. Tyler Higbee finding his way underneath and through trash. So man defense is hard. But I'll tell you the matchups I like the best. For Trayvon Diggs, Josh Reynolds would be the matchup that I would like the best for him. Josh Reynolds is going to be the guy that's asked to replace Brandon Cooks, who is now dearly departed. And maybe their rookie Van Jefferson will give him a run at some point. But I like Diggs physically matching up against Josh Reynolds because he's one of those guys that's 6'3". He's not a real big guy. He's tall, but he's not a real big guy. Probably 6'3", 200. And he's not the most sudden athlete, so I like the idea of Trayvon Diggs with his size, with his length, with his ability to disrupt, with a bigger guy to cover. I like that better than if you had Trayvon Diggs matched up on Robert Woods, who's a really good route runner, not the same size guy, but savvy veteran, your 6 foot, 195-pound route runner. I would rather have my somewhat raw, toolsy corner covering the big guy than the really good route runner. Same thing with Cooper Kupp. The really good route runner, I would rather keep Trayvon Diggs away from. So your matchup for the Cowboys, I would like to see Trayvon Diggs matched up on Josh Reynolds. Anthony Brown on Cooper Kupp, which I don't love that matchup, but it's the best chance you got. Cooper Kupp is the one that I think could really hurt the Cowboys in this game because I don't think you have a great matchup for him. It's going to be sort of a team effort. I think they need to play a decent amount of zone where when these guys are crossing all over the place, you can just have guys waiting to pick them up. I want to see if Brandon Carr's active because I like Brandon Carr on Tyler Higbee, their tight end. Or maybe Daryl Worley on Tyler Higbee, but a guy who's big, physical, but also has cover ability. Those are the guys I would like to see on Higbee. I don't mind Xavier Woods on him either. Darian Thompson is the one where I go, what? I don't think so. And then whoever your 3rd corner is for the day, Cheeto, hopefully it's Cheeto, is the guy who draws Robert Woods the majority of the time. But I do think it's advantage Rams. The Cowboys secondary is the one part of this team that's really going to have to prove it to me, to you, to the NFL, that they can be a good coverage unit. You lost your best cover guy and one of the best cover guys in the league in Byron Jones. You're replacing him with a step-in starter rookie, which is a tough task. Rookies go up and down. rookie corners go up and down. Be ready for that. It doesn't mean that he's not going to be a really good player. It doesn't mean that he can't be a starter right away. But rookie corners rarely step in and just take over the NFL. So the advantage is to the Cowboys in this game. Also, Jared Goff is a better quarterback, I think, than the world now thinks. There was a time after, which year was his great year? His second year? There was a time where people were like, oh, yeah, Jared Goff's incredible. And now we just swung all the way back the other way because their offensive line was so banged up. Their receivers got a little banged up. And so now Jared Goff sucks again. Goff's a solid NFL quarterback. Goff can hurt you. And he's got the weapons to do it. So this is advantage Cowboys. 31-23 is my official prediction. First touchdown of the year. I'm going Michael Gallup on either a sort of, I should say fly route just to be safe. It'll be a vertical route, but I'm kind of thinking like a stutter go for a touchdown for Gallup to be the Cowboys' first touchdown, or they get to the goal line and he's coming back across the back of the end zone and makes a catch there. Because I really think it'll probably be Zeke, but that's boring. I don't want to pick Zeke as the first touchdown. If that happens, that happens. They'll get down to the 1 yard line, they'll hand it to Zeke, and he'll run somebody over and he'll score, and that'll be great. But I pick Gallup. Leave in the comments who you think will be the first touchdown of the Cowboys season. Heck, hit me with your score predictions. I answered a couple of mailbag questions there from Mason and Ryan about the Zack Martin restructure and the matchups for Trayvon Diggs. And let me see. I will try to get to these other things later because I don't have to get to them yet. Well, no, let's do it. Osmodius says, Mike McCarthy said there's a big difference between losing a football game and getting beat. Please expound on that. Well, I can't speak for him, but I can speak for me. You can get beat if a team outplays you. That's getting beat. Everything I've heard from Mike McCarthy in the last months since he's been hired is that Mike McCarthy buys into, hell, he even used the word the other day, analytics, where he's like, I told the team, some of these things that are indicators of how we're going to win this game. You want to be leading at halftime. You want to be aggressive. You want to throw the ball on early downs. There's all these different things that give you an incremental advantage in the odds of you having a big play or of scoring points. You want to go for it on fourth down when it's makeable. All these different things. And Mike McCarthy believes in them and talks about them. So if you get beat, you get beat. It happens. You're going to get beat by football teams. But to me, losing a football game, you can do it in ways where you kind of did it to yourself. If you beat me, so be it. As long as I did the things that I was supposed to do to give me the best chance to win. Jason Garrett did not give your team the best chance to win. Because when you are playing to keep the game close and when you get conservative while you're in field goal range, you are not optimizing your chance to win games. You are playing to get to a coin flip. Close games in the NFL are coin flips. The good teams avoid close games. Now, obviously, everybody would like to blow everybody out, but that's how you have to approach the game, is I'm scoring 30-something points today, or 40 burger. Might drop a team 40 burger. And we're going to plan our game accordingly. We're going to score when we have the ball. Not, 3 works here as long as we take a certain amount of time off the clock and we get to the fourth quarter and we're up by 3 and we can hold on to that lead. No, because now you're letting luck enter the equation. You're playing for a coin flip, and that's dumb. So Mike McCarthy, if they get beat, they get beat. But you have to play to win the game. Is that Herm? You play to win the game. Let me see here. Wrath89, he said, is this a reasonable take? Tank will thrive and get 12-plus sacks in a new and less predictable defense, and people like Crawford, maybe Poe next to him. Didn't Tank have his best sack years when we put Crawford at DT next to him? Tank's going to get double-digit sacks. The only thing that could stop Tank from getting double-digit sacks is if double-digit sacks aren't available, because guys like Alden Smith and Everson Griffin keep beating him to the quarterback. That's the only thing that's going to stop Tank from getting double-digit sacks. They're going to be able to rush the passer this year, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I wish Gerald McCoy hadn't gotten hurt. We'll have to see what happens at defensive tackle and how they're going to play, but so be it. That's all the time we got for today because this video is long. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. By the way, we are now the 20% club. Yeah. Twin. Yeah, we're the 20% club now. Notifications turned on. I love every single one of you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. I love you. Bye.